Hey everybody, what's going on? Bahroo here, back inside of Borderlands, the pre-sequel, and today we're going to be talking about more of Handsome Jack's action skill that was leaked a few days prior. So today's skill tree is going to be called The Greater Good. The Greater Good. Now, what this skill tree revolves around is basically killing your own teammates and or action skill in order to further benefit yourself, which is a great fit for Jack and absolutely nobody else. He is full-on synergy with only him. It's great. I actually would like to see a playthrough of 4 Handsome Jacks now, just because this skill tree promotes putting your teammates into fight for your life and leaving them like that. Anyway, let's just go ahead and jump into the first tier of skills here. So first off, we've got Integrity. This will give you increased bonus damage against enemies who are below 40% health. However, if you have not damaged the enemy previously, which means a teammate brought them down lower or your action skill did, you will get increased damage. And that bonus multiplier is 4. So you get a pretty hefty damage increase if you kill steal. Yeah! Go Jack! We're already off to an amazing start. I actually like the skill tree. This is going to just get better and better, so let's go ahead and move on to the other side. Alright, so for our next skill we have Collaborate. This skill here will give you increased damage whenever your Digijack dies. This will give you a stack of Collaborate. This stack will increase your damage and your Digijack's damage by 1% for every stack that you have, going up to a maximum of 10. Now, if you put 5 points in this, you're going to have upwards of 50% weapon damage for you and your action skill. So a really nice buff to have here. Digijacks do lose their health over time, so you are guaranteed to get these stacks as you progress and use your action skill. But they do all go away the moment your action skill depletes. So just a little temporary boost. Nice buff to have here. Anyway, let's just start making our way down this tree and see what other fun times are ahead of us. Next up is Synergy, which is a kill skill. Killing an enemy grants you increased weapon damage and critical hit damage for a short time. This is an awesome kill skill. It literally just gives you damage. It's perfect. 35% weapon damage and 35% critical hit damage on a kill is not bad. Considering the enemy density in pre-sequel, this is a good skill to have. Not really much left to say. Hope there's a class mod in it that will buff it to 11 though, because I would just love to see this go to 66%. Anyway, moving on. We have Teamwork. If an ally enters fight for your life or a Digijack dies, you regenerate health for a few seconds. This effect can stack upwards of 10 times. So you're going to get your health regeneration for 0.5% of your maximum health, so 2.5% with 5 points in it, every single time one of your jacks dies or a friend enters fight for their life. So then now you can start to see where, when I say you benefit from your allies dying, this is probably an awesome, this is just a pub skill tree. Whatever you just want to jump into a random game with. It's going to end up with a lot of hilarity. Anyway, not really much to say about this, but good survivability skill to have. Let's take a look at that middle thing there with the shotgun. See what that's got to offer us. So this is Diversity. Your Digijack's wrist laser is now a shotgun laser. Basically just increases your Digijack's damage by a pretty significant amount. So nice buff to have if you're going to rely on your Digijacks for doing damage, which for the early game is going to be really nice. I don't know how much the late game is going to be affected though until we really see how well they scale. But early game, good skill to have. Not much left to say about this. It's literally just an upgrade. It's a good one. Should pick it up. Yeah. Anyway, next game changer. So for our next game changer, we have Commitment. Whenever a Digijack dies or a friend goes into fight for your life, you gain a stack of Commitment. The longer your friends are in fight for your life, the more stacks you gain. When a Digijack dies, you lose, or that stack lasts for 6 seconds. So basically, as the skill would imply, you get bonus fire rate and reload speed the longer your friends are in Fight for Your Life. This is what I was talking about when I said, like, his skill tree is literally all centered around just fucking over your other teammates. And I have no problems with that. Jack is the kind of guy who would have this as a skill tree. I like this skill tree because it really shines for who he is. He's always about himself, and thus his skill tree kind of represents that. So, for as shitty as a skill this is, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Now I have a reason to not revive Goth. Anyway, moving on. So next up, we have Optimism. When one of your Digijacks dies, he sets off an explosion, damaging all nearby enemies. Also, the next Digijack will spawn with less health. Now, this is a very interesting skill. I don't know if this means that the Digijacks will continuously keep lowering their maximum health until they get to the point to where as soon as they spawn in, they just become a nuke. They literally just spawn as a nuke. If that is true, then this skill right here will be perfect because you're going to get all of your stacks of commitment as well as any other skill that procs of you losing a jack. So either way, I would definitely looking forward to messing around with this. I'd love to have just a walking nuke as an action skill. This sounds awesome. If not, just having an extra little boost in damage would be nice, but we're going to have to see what the damage is going to look like. Skills like these are very hit or miss. Gotta wait for some gameplay before we can truly make a decision on whether or not this skill is good, but the viability and the synergy is there with the rest of the skill tree. I'd like to see this happen. I would like to see that happen. Anyway, let's take a look at that other side there. So this next one is called Winning. Killing an enemy increases your movement speed for a short time and instantly restores a portion of your shield every time you kill an enemy. So you're gonna be looking at about a 20% movement speed buff, which isn't, you know, it's nice to have, but I'm really liking that shield restore, 5% of your maximum capacity every time you kill an enemy. Which, if, like I said, the enemy density in the pre-sequel is much higher than any other game, so you're going to be able to chain kill a lot of enemies. So keeping that shield restore always going was really nice. So every time you kill an enemy, you're looking at a 25% chance, or not 25% chance, 25% increase to your max capacity. Now, what I want to know is that if there can be an action skill. Whenever I do these skill tree reviews, I'm always looking like what would happen if there was a comm that boosted this. What if there was a comm that boosted this skill and gave me 55% of my shield every time I killed an enemy? That would be awesome. That would be awesome because get a full, like, half of shield, just a little bit over half your shield every time you kill an enemy. That'd be a great increase to your survivability. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at that middle game changer there. Enough talking about winning. So this next skill that we have here for Jack is another skill that centers around basically using your teammates as meat shields. When a friend or a Digijack takes damage, you gain a stack of accountability. When you take damage, however, you lose half of your accountability. If you go into Fight for Your Life, you lose all of your accountability. You gain bonus fire rate based on how many accountability stacks you had. So you're going to get increased fire rate and increased reload speed, upwards of 250% if you have all of the stacks. Jesus Christ. That is a lot. Or 500% reload speed. Because, you know, I needed to blink and reload my gun. But, you know, it basically synergizes with, like I said, throwing your teammates at the enemy and you just kind of sitting in the back dealing damage, or just having your action skilled Digijacks run at them. So this will be an interesting skill to have again in the multiplayers. Jack is this whole entire tree is very multiplayer based. And when I say multiplayer based, I mean like just shitting all over your friends. I love it. Anyway, let's take a look at the next game changer. So, for this next game changer, we have Potential. When your Digijack spawns, he sets off a Shock Nova. Also, you can use your action skill while in Fight for Your Life. Now, this is a really nice skill to have because this has great synergy with the final capstone, which we'll take a look at in a second here once we take a look at these other two. But first, being able to use your action skill and fight for your life is good for two reasons. One, it's nice to use your action skill and fight for your life, duh. Two, if you use your action skill and then immediately go into fight for your life for even a second, you don't lose your entire action skill, which can happen on a lot of different classes. So definitely recommend picking this up if you do go down this tree for no other reason than going down doesn't immediately drain your entire action skill. Anyway, let's take a look at the left and right skill real quick before we take a look at that capstone. So next up we have Delegation. A portion of damage dealt to you is redistributed to your Digijacks instead. Now, while this may not have too much synergy with accountability, it does have a lot of synergy with killing off your Digijacks as quickly as possible. So you can have upwards of 25% of all damage that you take be directly distributed into your Digijacks, and this is as close to real damage reduction as you're gonna get. This is gonna be just a straight 25% of damage you take removed from you and placed on your Digijacks, so they'll take the damage instead. And what'll be nice is that it will kill your Digijacks faster and allow you to get those perks for killing off your jacks. Anyway, nice skill to have. Let's take a look at the other side here. Next up we have Believe. Another good kill skill. Killing an enemy increases your weapon damage, fire rate, reload speed, and accuracy for a short time. So you can get upwards of 25% gun damage, 20% fire rate, reload speed, and accuracy. Nice little boost to have. Nice little kill skill. Don't know if it's going to outweigh some of the other skills buffs, but overall a good kill skill to have if you have extra points lying around, or if there is a class mod that buffs this skill in particular. Not much to say else about it, just a general all-around good kill skill. Now let's go ahead and take a look at that capstone and see what it's got to offer for this entire skill tree. So for our capstone for the greater good skill tree, we've got Leadership. When a Digijack dies, it counts as if you had killed an enemy. This can grant you a second wind. Second wind can be granted once per action skill use. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I am a little disappointed in this for a capstone. This seems more of a game changer than a capstone, but either way, this is what we've got. I'm looking to see what kind of builds you could make with this, but the problem is that if you build most classes right, they have a hard time going in to fight for your life to begin with. But I guess leveling up your character, not a bad skill to have, considering that there are a lot of skills here that basically kill your jack over and over again. So getting a second win would not be that hard with this capstone. Overall, I really like this skill tree. It has a lot of synergy with all the different skills and literally none with any character, which is awesome because it fits Jack perfectly, where he just uses his friends as tools because he is a giant tool. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this skill tree overview. Tomorrow we'll be taking a look at the hero of the story skill tree. Again, if you are enjoying these walkthroughs, these in-depth look at these skill trees, be sure to hit that like button. Let me know that you are enjoying this, and don't forget to subscribe for future content. I want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Later.